let us take this function y is equal to a b bar plus a bar b c, okay, something like this, or maybe, okay, let us take this function, and then question is like implement. So this is given in SOP form, so directly you can find out its efficient implementation in by using only NAND gates. So y bar is equal to b bar plus a bar pc the whole bar. So that is equal to a b bar whole bar dot a bar bc the whole bar. So therefore y is a complement of this, a b bar whole bar a bar b c the whole bar, then take a complete bar of this. Okay, so this is y and this, therefore if you take a complement of that you will get okay, y bar, it will become y. Okay, so now if you look at this term is okay, but this term has 3 inputs. Okay, so if we want to break this up, we can do that separately. A bar bc, this term, the whole bar. So this term if I take here, which has 3 literals, so that will be what? So that will be that is coming as a product term. So you can write it as a so if I apply the De Morgan's theorem here, you can extend the De Morgan's theorem to 3 variables also. So this will be a plus b bar plus c bar. Okay, so this way you can break it up, and then, or you can break it up first into 2 terms, like a plus bc the whole bar. Okay, so this way also we can do it. So therefore this is a b bar the whole bar, then this term is a plus bc the whole bar, so you can write it in this manner. But so you can see that this is not a very convenient representation for implementing using NAND gate. For NAND gate we have to have product form, only product form. So but here there is a sum form, so that is not really good. So what we can do is we can leave this bar and take a bar bc as a bar bc bar. This way you can take. So that will give us a bar a plus bc the whole bar, which if I apply again, that will give me a bar dot bc. Okay, so this is a better way of doing it. So wherever this term comes, I can just replace it in this manner. So that is what I will do now. So first term, that is a bar b bar, the whole bar, that is okay. Then the second term, I will write it as a bar dot bc, the whole bar. Okay. So I am not preferring this, I am preferring this. Okay. I take the a bar bc, I did a double bar which will not change anything. Then I applied the inner bar, I applied the De Morgan's theorem, so it became a plus bc bar. Then the outer bar I am applying again De Morgan's theorem, so that will make it a bar dot bc. So then I substituted a bar dot bc under the bar. So this, now I can directly go and implement this. So I have a here, then b here. So I need a b bar. So I use an AND gate to generate b bar. And then I have a and b bar. I apply it into a NAND gate. So that will generate me a b bar, the whole bar. So I manage the first term. Now I need an a bar. Okay, I need an a bar. So for that I need another NAND gate to complement it. Complement A. So a bar. Then that is dotted with BC. So okay. So BC also I need to do one more expansion. So you take BC. BC bar is equal to B bar plus C bar, the whole bar, which I will write it as B into, okay, that won't be useful. Okay, a bar, and so I need a BC here. I'll manage BC. So suppose this is BC, then I have a bar. I can proceed. So then a bar dot BC, the whole bar. Then I have one more AND gate, so which will generate this. But I need a BC here. Now BC means AND gate operation. So AND gate and NAND gate, you know how they are related. So all you need to do is take B and C is from outside. I will get basically BC bar. Here it is BC bar. So if I put one more gate, so that is the implementation. Of this Boolean function. Okay, so or you can simply go with direct implementation, and then that will be even simpler, I feel. Like you have A and then B, you put a NOT gate, you get B bar, and then implement the first product A B bar, and then so this is A, this is B, then you take complement of that will give you A bar, and then you need BC. So BC you can implement B from here and C from here, so that will give you BC. This is C, and this is A bar. You put another AND gate, so that will give you A bar BC, A bar BC. So A B bar, then we need to use a OR gate. So that will give our Y. Okay, A B bar plus A bar BC. So this is the direct implementation, and then what I told you is that you put bubble here and bubble here. That will not change anything, but that will bring everything into NAND gate. So this is an AND gate, this is an AND gate, and you can see correspondingly the NAND gates here. This is an AND gate, this is an AND gate, and this is an AND gate. So 3 NAND gates have come, and then since I have already bubbled the output here, I will not bubble here in between. So instead what I will do is that I will make this a bubble, and then I introduce one NOR gate, NAND gate here. So that will be like this. Okay, so that is like complement of the complement. So that is what is generating here, and you can replace this with also. You can replace this also with the NAND gate. So that way you can come to the circuit much more faster way. You directly implement it and then introduce bubbles, so that you can get everything in NAND gate form. So only thing you need to remember is OR gate with input complemented, you get a NAND gate, and AND gate with output complemented, you get a NAND gate. Now if there is any case where like this, where there is an AND gate but there is no input OR gate, then what you do is you have to introduce one additional NAND gate, okay, so that you can do complement of complement, and all NOT gates can be easily replaced with the NAND gate with both input equal, both inputs same. Is it clear? Is it clear to everyone? This way of finding out any function you can take. So I have taken a very random function here. Either you can apply Boolean algebra or you can apply this. Both ways you can get it. Is it clear? Let me know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's all. Now similar way, like if you have the expression written in POS form, you can do the similar thing with respect to NOR gate. Okay. So for that you need the expression in POS form. So if it is in SOP form, NAND gate implementation is straightforward. All right. So now I would like to discuss something which I forgot to discuss earlier, which is gray code. Gray codes. Now what are gray code? Gray code we have used like in the K-map and all, but I did not discuss as a separately how what do we mean by gray code. Okay, so let's go to that. So we have binary representation. So let me start with the binary, 4-bit binary and gray code. So binary is simple. You have 0 0 0, 0 0 0 1, 0 0 1 0, 0 0 1 1. Then you have 0 1 0 0, 0 1 0 1, 0 1 1 0, that is 6, 0 1 1, that is 7, and then 1 0 0, that is 8, 1 0 0 0 1, that is 9, 1 0 1 0 10, 1 0 1 1 11, 1 1 0 0 12, 1 1 0 1 13, 1 1 1 0 14, and then I'll write here 1 1 1, that is 50. So this is binary code, everybody know this. Now similarly these numbers, decimal number also I will write here, the corresponding decimal number 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So if a decimal number is given, immediately you can write down the corresponding binary 4-bit binary equivalent. 11 12 13 14 and 15. So 0 to 15, there are 16 combinations for the binary number using 4 bits. Now the corresponding gray code, if I write, so again we start with the 0 0 0. Now the condition is that when you proceed to the next number, we will only change 1 bit, okay, which is true here also. In the binary code we only changed 1 bit, so 0 0 0, and preferably the least significant bit, such that no code is repeated. Okay, that is the constraint. When you change only single bit, make sure that you don't repeat an earlier code which is already assigned to a particular number. For example, 0 is assigned with 0 0 0, 4 zeros, and we changed 1 bit, we got a new code which was not earlier assigned. So this is the code for 1. Now when you go from here, if you look at binary, you are changing 2 bits. The least significant bit 1 is changed to 0, and the next bit is changed from 0 to 1. So there is a 2-bit change. So therefore in the gray code that is not allowed. Okay, only single bit can be changed. Now what is the way to change? If I change the least significant bit, I will go back to 0 0 0, which is already assigned to the decimal digit 0. So I can't do that. So the next possibility is you try and change the next significant position, which is the second position. So that will not create a code which is already assigned. So you can write like 0 0 1 1. So this is the number 2 in gray code. Okay, 0 0 1 1. And what about the next number, that is 3. So 3 in gray code, again I can try change the least significant bit, and what I will get is 0 0 1 0, which was not earlier assigned to any earlier decimal number. So I can give that assignment. Okay, now we are going from 3 to 4. Again I am allowed to change only 1 bit. If I change the LSB, I get the previous code, so I am not allowed to do that. If I change the next bit, I will go back to 0 0 0, which also I am not allowed to do. So then the only possibility is that I try and change the third bit. So that will be 0 1 1 0. Only 1 bit change is involved. But if you look at binary, 3-bit change is involved. Okay, 1 becomes 0, 1 becomes 0, 0 becomes 1. 3-bit change. But in gray code, only single bit change. Then the next one is going to be 0 1 1 1. Okay, now there is a kind of symmetry here. If you look at you can see a symmetry here. I will tell you, or you can follow the logic which I mentioned. That way also you can proceed. Try changing the least significant bit, and if it is resulting in a code which is already assigned, try changing the next bit, and if it is also allotted, then try changing the next bit, and that way you follow the algorithm and you can get it. But otherwise what we can do is like you can explore a reflection symmetry here, which I will now show you. So the third bit position is 0 for the first 4 cases. The next 4 cases it is going to remain 1. Now you look at that the last 2 bit positions, they are same like this. It is 1 1 here and this is 1 1 here. So the next one will be 0 0 1 0 1. Okay, so there is a symmetry here between these two. There is a symmetry here, the last 2 bit positions, and then finally 0 1 0 0. Okay, again there is a symmetry. You follow the logic, you get the same thing. If you follow the symmetry, you will get the same thing. Okay, now we have explored all the possibilities with the first 3 bits. Now no more change of the first 3 bit is possible, because it will fall back to one of the earlier cases. So only possibility is that you bring the change in the I think the way I have written, I have the line row I have not kept in order, so I need a vertical line. Okay, so here onwards I need to change it. Okay, so the next one is this is going to be 0 1 then 1 1. So then next one is 0 1 0 1. The next one is 0 1 0 0. Okay, so this one like this. Okay, this is the symmetry that we are exploring, and that symmetry is with respect to the change of the third bit going from 0 to 1. Okay, you consider that point, that is this point. Okay, now it is the next bit going to change, so there will be another symmetry that is coming. So you are making this one, and all other bit will remain 0. So this is the time for a new symmetry, which is like this. Now like this we can go. Okay, so this will be 1, and all the 3 bits you can take from this 1 0 1, then again, so you can put this 1 everywhere. Now I can draw these rows. Already there. Okay, so now let us fill in whatever is left. So this one will come here, this one will come here, this one will come here. This time there will be 8 places I can fill up with just symmetry. So this will be what? This will be coming from 1 1 1 1 1 1, and this will be coming from 1 1 0 1 1 0. This will be coming from 0 1 0. This will be coming from 0 1 1, and the next one will be 0 0 1, and this is 0 0 0. and you can see that none of the code is getting repeated. Okay, all are very distinct code, but they are in a different order, such that only one bit change is happening when you go from one place to the other. Okay. Is it clear so far how we?
Sir, no, I didn't get it.
Okay. So the algorithm, as I told you, when you write the gray code, you start with 0 0 0, and then you are only allowed to change one bit. You get 1 here, and you try to change it in the least significant bit position, such that earlier code is not repeated. So you change 0 to 1, you get a new code. If you look at the binary, that is what you are doing there also, but the difference will come in the next change. From 1 to 2, when you go from decimal number 1 to decimal number 2, what is happening is 1 is in the least significant bit position is changed to 0, and 0 in the next position is changed to 1. So there is 2 bit change, which is not allowed here. Okay, so you are only allowed to change only single bit position. Now if I change the least significant bit, I will fall back to the previous case, which is not allowed. So I try to change the next bit position, that is 0, I will make it 1. So I get 0 0 1 1. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Not sure?
Not sure, sir.
I am allowed to change only single bit. When you go every step down the line, I am only allowed to change. You see that the corresponding code for 0 is 0 0 0 0, and the next one is 0 0 0 1. So only this bit is changed, right? And when you go from 1 to 2, only the second bit is changed. Nothing, all the other bits are remaining same. This 0, and the last one, they are remaining same. And then again from 2 to 3, if you look at, only this 1 is becoming 0, no other change. Again from 3 to 4, only change is happening at a single bit position, that is the third bit position. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Now I got it.
And when you do that change, you have to make sure that you don't repeat any of the earlier code. You have to allot a distinct code for the new entry. So that is a constraint that we have. So if you follow that constraint and only allowed to change a single bit, then you can generate all the numbers. So 0 0 0 1, I cannot change the least significant bit because it will generate the first code. So I tried the next bit, so it became 1 1. Now again I am only allowed to change single bit. So I try to change the least significant bit, so 1 became 0. I get a code 0 0 1 0, which was not there in the first 3. So that is a valid code. Okay, and then again I am allowed to change only one bit. So if I change least significant bit, I will go back to 2, which I don't want. So then if I change the next significant bit, I will go back to 0, that also I don't want. So I try and change the third bit, so it becomes 1 1 0. This is not a code that is appearing earlier. Again I change the least significant bit, I get 1 1 1 0 1 1 1, which is not allotted earlier, so that is a valid code. I cannot change now the least significant bit. I try and change the next bit, which is 0 1 0 1, which is not part of the earlier code. So this way I have to proceed. So another way you can look at is that there is a symmetry involved. Okay, and that symmetry is whenever a new bit position become 1, for example the second bit becoming 1, okay, this second bit becoming 1, okay, which is here, this second bit becoming 1, and if you look at the first bit, then that is having a symmetry like this. Okay, So when you make this the next bit position becoming 1, then the previous bits have a symmetry, reflection symmetry, and the reflection symmetry in this case is like this. This and this are same, and this and this are same, and you can continue extend the symmetry to the higher cases. That is like you make these bit 1, and then you can have the symmetry here, the green one which I am showing. Okay, so this is 1 0, this is 1 0, this is 1 1, this is 1 1, and this is 0 1, and that is 0 1, this is 0 0, that is 0 0. Is that clear? And finally, I will have this made to 1, and then I have this purple colored symmetry. So that is an alternate way to cross check what you have written is correct or not. When you follow the algorithm and do that way, you will surely get it. But if you want to quickly write it, you can just explore the symmetry in the problem. Alright, so now if you want to generate a gray code converter, how do we do it? So we need to assign some variable. This is B3, B2, B1, B0, and here I will write it as G3, G2, G1, G0. So this G, if I take it as an output, so I want a circuit which can convert. I want a circuit which can take in B3, B2, B1, B0 and give an output G3, G2, G1, G0. So this is a circuit I would like, combinational circuit which can do this, and that is called binary to gray code converter. Binary to gray code converter. So how to find out this circuit? So it is as if there are 4 Boolean functions G3, G2, G1. As many number of outputs are there, that many number of Boolean functions are there. So all you need to do is just write the K-map for G3, G2, G1, G0 in terms of B3, B2, B1, B0. So, but you really don't require it for G3 because you see that G3 and B3 are same. So immediately you can write G3 is nothing but B3, right? Is that clear? You don't need to solve using K-map because you can just by inspection you can see that when B3 is 0, G3 is 0. When B3 is 1, G3 is 1. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, let's look at what happens to G2. So I'm going to write the K-map or draw the K-map for this case, and let's see what happens. So I need 16 columns or 16 cells for G2, and so these are like B3, B2, B1, B0. So they can be 0, 0, 0, 1. Here also we are using gray code on the side of K-map. 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. Okay. So let us see what happens. The first 4 entries are 0. So 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, 0 here. I am not entering it. The next 4 cases are 1. So this is 1, 1, 1, 1. The next 4 cases are also 1, but that is here 1, 1, 1, 1. The last 4 cases are 0. These are 0. Now it is quite easy to group this. You have a group of 4 here, another group of 4 here, and then you can write the expression for this. So this group is basically what? This is only one when both B3 and B2 are 1. So this is B3 B2. Okay, but sorry, I made a mistake here. The entry that I have given here, this is not 0 0, this is 0 1. Okay, 0 0 0 1 1 1 0. So what will be it? B3 is 0 and B2 is 1. So that is this term corresponding to this group. And then I have another group where I have the ulta, that is B3 without bar and B2 with bar. So therefore I got the expression for G2 as B3 XOR B2. Sum of these two is basically XOR gate operation. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, these are things you have already studied, so you should be knowing it already. Now let's enter the K-map for the next Boolean function, which is even if I don't teach this, you should be able to do this, because these are all using concepts which earlier we have introduced. So again, B3 B2 B1 B0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1 0. Okay, so let's see the pattern here. 0 0 1 1 1 1 0 0 0 0 1 1 then 1 1 0 0 again 0 0 1 1 1 1 0 0. So it's getting repeated. 0 0 1 1 1 1 0 0. So 0 0 1 1 1 1 0 0 0. So this is the entry for G1, and if I group it, so I can make a group like this, and a group of 4 like this, another group of 4 like this, and then write this. This group is basically what is not changing is B2 is 0, and then B1 is at 1. Similarly, we can explore this group. This group is what is not changing. B2 is 1, and then B1 is 0. So I can say that G1 is equal to B2 B1 bar plus B2 bar B1. So that is B2 XOR B1. One final entry, that is for G0. So let's do that also. The reverse conversion I will give you as a homework. Same procedure, just need to enter in the K-map and solve it. So B3 B2 B1 B0. So let us zero 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 1 1 1 1 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1 0. Now let's see the pattern of entry. This is just 0 1 1 0 0 1 1 0 0 1 1 0 0 1 1 0. Okay, so that is how it goes. So let us enter 0 1 1 0 0 1 1 0, then 0 1 1 0 0 1 1 0 0 1 1 0. So again nicely you will get a group of 4 here also. So this group is basically B1 bar B0, and this group is B1 B0 bar. So this is also an XOR gate operation, that is G0 is equal to B1 XOR B0. So these are the functions that we got. 3 XOR gates can implement. So let me quickly show you the implementation. So if I have these inputs, okay, so this is my B3, B2, B1, B0. The first thing I am telling is my G3 is, or let me start with G0, what we found out just now is basically an XOR gate operation of these two. So this is a symbol for XOR gate. Draw it more neatly. Okay, this is XOR gate, and that will give you G0, which is B1 XOR B0. The next one is B2 B1 XOR. Okay, so B2 is here and B1 is here. Okay, so that is G1, B2 XOR B1. The next one is, you see there is a pattern here. So if I go by that pattern, I will take this one and this one. And then I have G2, which is B3 XOR B2. Okay, you can just verify B3 XOR B2. Yeah, B3 XOR B2. And then the last one is quite simple. You just directly take it. That is your G3, which is equal to B3. So if you have a binary code, you can just convert into gray code by using just 2 input XOR gate. That's all what you require. So now I assign a homework for you to do the reverse conversion. Homework. Design a 4-bit gray code to binary code converter. Okay, design a 4-bit gray code to binary code converter, so that you can do it. Procedure is similar, only thing is that whatever was the input here will become output, and whatever was the output will become input. So when you write the Boolean function, you have to write the Boolean function for B3, B2, B1, B3, and B3 is just the same. You can see that you just take G3. Okay, B3 is equal to G3, but we need to find out B2, B1 and B0. so that I leave it to you. Do this exercise.